2018. If you're watching this on a replay, another day of the year or a subsequent year, it's great to have you here. For those of you who we haven't had the privilege of meeting before, my name is Jesse Brisendine. I know I'm coming on a little bit later than I normally would. I had a call right before this, and I have a call I have to jump onto in 12 minutes after this, so I'm going to have to keep this short, sweet, and succinct. I'm trying to broadcast this simultaneously on the various pages to see if it makes a difference. I've been doing it exclusively on the one the last couple days, and just to see, I'm testing different things to see what it takes to get the engagement and all these to go up, and we'll see what happens. But anyways, I wanted to share with you all today an extraordinary story of what you can do when you discover your life purpose. And this story, just as a precursor, it has a bit of a tragic twist at the end, but it's quite inspiring for what it's been able to accomplish. In the late 70s, there was and anybody on here who's from Canada, you may be familiar with this person. There was a young man by the name of Terry Fox who was diagnosed with some form of cancer. And just before or just after his 20th birthday, and he was an athlete at this point. He had done various endurance events. He had been a runner, a basketball player. And just before his birthday, he was diagnosed with this cancer, and it was determined that he was going to have his leg amputated. I can't imagine what it'd be like to have my leg amputated, and especially if you're an active 20-something-year-old kid who has aspirations of continuing to play sports and whatnot. But that was the hand he was dealt. And as he was getting ready to have this amputation happen, he was making plans in his mind of what he wanted to do afterwards. And he had decided that he was quite disgusted with how little money at the time was going into research with cancer and trying to solve problems, and he wanted to do something about it. So he came up with this idea that once he was out of the operation, he got his prosthetic leg, that he was going to embark on what he called the Marathon of Hope. And the Marathon of Hope was to run across Canada from west to east, covering well over 3,000 miles. And he was going to do it by running an average of a marathon a day, 26.2 miles, which, having run one marathon in my life, I can't even imagine running that many marathons in a row. And his idea is that he had a goal. And his goal was to try to get $1 donated by, at the time, each of Canada's 24 million citizens, making his ultimate goal $24 million. Now, again, picture this for a moment. The idea of even running one marathon is extremely overwhelming and one of those oh shit moments for most of us. The idea of running multiple marathons is even more. The idea of running multiple marathons back to back is even more. And then you compound it with just having your leg amputated, running across a country, putting the weight of trying to do some fundraising to make a difference is even more so. But Terry Fox, at this point, he knew what his purpose was. He knew that it wasn't to bemoan and fault find what life had dealt him, but it was rather he was going to take his pain and turn it into purpose. And he was going to use that purpose to help inspire others and to raise awareness for something that was deeply meaningful for him. He started out in April, and he ran into gale force winds. It was extremely painful for him to run. He didn't get a lot of attention. Not a lot of people stopped, but eventually he got a donation from a town of 10,000 people for $10,000. He continued on, and he would get donations from various people. He met some famous Canadian hockey players who were giving money, and he started to pick up and began to get national attention. The Cancer Center got behind him and began backing him, trying to get him to go to speaking events and whatnot, and he kept pushing forward on his Marathon of Hope. Eventually, in I think it was August, he was forced to stop. He had covered well over 3,000 miles, but he had a coughing attack that he wasn't able to rebound from. And when it seemed evident the cough wouldn't go away, he finally had a car take him to the hospital, where they discovered that the cancer had come back and it had spread to his lungs, and he was going to have to stop running. He announced this on a press conference with tears in his eyes. At this point, he had raised well over $1 point some million and captivated the attention of the country, of people, of big CEOs and various titans of industry. The founder of the Four Seasons Corporation had pledged money and got others to join in as well, having lost a son of his own to cancer. The idea was conceived at this point to capitalize on Terry Fox's fame and his drive to do this and to raise awareness, to put a telethon together. And the telethon was an extremely big hit, and it brought in millions, tens of millions of dollars. When all is said and done, I think it ended up being over $24 million, which is a huge amount. I think it was at the time the largest amount ever raised for cancer research. Tragically, within, I think, the next year, Terry Fox ended up dying. I think he was just shy of his 22nd birthday. To this day, Canada still holds an annual Terry Fox run and fundraiser. And if I remember correctly, that has raised over $700 million for cancer research. $700 million. Think about almost $1 billion for cancer research by one person who was just a 20-something-year-old kid who had his leg chopped off because of cancer. Now think about how many challenges that we'll endure in life, and we'll think, that's it. I can't rebound. I can't go on. I'm not going to be able to bounce back from this. Life's too hard. It's unfair. It's not right. And we make that choice. But we also all have the ability to make a choice like Terry Fox did. See, I believe with working, and I believe this from having worked with thousands of people from around the world on discovering life purpose is one of the primary things that people utilize my services for. That purpose is found in two primary places when we talk about life purpose. It's found in our ultimate pleasure, and it's found in our ultimate pain. It's found in the things that we find the most joy in doing, and sometimes it's found in the most challenging and heartbreaking stuff that we'll ever go through. I know I'm definitely one of the ones who found mine in pain. The losses of various people in my life is what ultimately brought me here and speaking with all of you today. And it's the driving force behind much of my work and why I do what I do. It was from those places of going through those really painful times for myself that I discovered that there was something more I could do. I could take those experiences and use them to help others, similar to what Terry Fox did. He went through this horrible, life-altering thing that ultimately ended up costing him his life at a very young age. But you look at the legacy he's created from that purpose, $700 million in research. You think about how many lives have been saved or changed because of his decision to push through, to go through, then not only go through the pain and loss of his leg and the cancer, but then to challenge himself physically in ways most people would never even imagine, to run a marathon across the country, 3,000 plus miles, a marathon a day average on a prosthetic leg. Where he's got to have this awkward stride, and he puts himself and subjects himself to a tremendous amount of pain to make that work. He did it because he believed in something more than himself. He did it because he believed it was his purpose. And because of that, hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of lives have been enhanced and saved because of what he decided to do. See, we can do, each and every one of you on here, each and every one of you watching the replay is capable of such extraordinary things, especially when you connect with and pursue your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, I encourage you to find it. I encourage you to grab onto it. I encourage you to live it each and every day. If you need help finding your purpose, I encourage you to reach out to me, to someone who does some similar work as me, to help you do it, because the world needs people to live out their purpose. The world needs more people like a Terry Fox who are going to go to the extraordinary measures to bring awareness and change the life for someone else. Each and every one of you, I really believe with all my heart that when we're on purpose, we all become these beacons of light that shine at our brightest. And it's from the light that we emit that we can illuminate the path of darkness that others might find themselves to be in. You can be that light for others. Find your purpose, grab onto it, hold on to it. And if you haven't found it yet, reach out to someone to help you do it. It will be the best investment you will ever make. Because a life lived on purpose is a life that not only transforms your own life, but it transforms the life of others. So I hope I have to jump off. I have another call here. It starts in just a couple minutes. I don't have time for questions tonight. But if you leave anything in the comments, I'll be happy to circle back around, check in on them, and respond. If you want to chat with me more about this, shoot me a message. If you want to discuss about coaching and using life purpose, reach out to me. I'd love to speak with you on that. But I do sincerely hope this was helpful. I hope this has been a message that you received with an open heart and an open mind. And I sincerely hope that those of you who are on the life purpose quest, you draw a little inspiration from Terry Fox as an example of what can be possible. Because it doesn't mean that you have to run a marathon across country to pursue your purpose. But it does mean that you can make that kind of impact when you're on purpose, and whatever it is whatever capacity that is for you. All right, everyone, I got to jump off. I wish you all an extraordinary rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Sending lots of love to you. And remember, Carpe Diem, seize the moment, seize the day, make the most of it. It's all you got. We'll be back here tomorrow, right about 3:45 Pacific time. That's going to be 5:45 Central, 6:45 Eastern time. I have to be out of my office by 4:10, so we'll make sure we're on time right then. And then what I'll do tomorrow is I'm going to test and only broadcast this from YouTube and one of my Facebook pages, either my personal one or my business one. So if you don't see it pop up on one, I'll share it from that one, but log into that one. And I just want to see if it makes an impact on how many people Facebook shows this out to, because I'm really determined to try to get this accessible to as many people who want to receive it. That's all from tonight. Take care, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.